All right, ladies, today for our Writing Wednesday, we're going to do our literacy strategy, and we're going to tie in a little bit of our last unit, which is on muscles, and we're going to kind of incorporate it to this unit on archery. All right, some of your goals that you're going to have today is you're going to analyze and we're going to interpret quotes. Okay, you'll be able to evaluate and identify the muscles that's used to draw a bow, and then what we're also going to do is apply some of the previous knowledge of weightlifting, and we're going to incorporate it into drawing a bow and can do some comparisons as far as weightlifting and also drawing a bow. Alright, so today what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and stretch. After we go to our stretches, you're going to get into your shooting groups. The shooting groups, you will see they're going to be clipboards set up for you. I will need the first flight. Whoever's the first flight of each of the groups, you're going to grab the clipboards and we're going to find a seat on the floor so that we can continue with today's strategy. All right, are there any questions before we begin? All right, well, let's go ahead and line up for our exercise. All right, let's go ahead and get our flights to go and get our clipboards. Everybody else find a spot on the ground. Now that you have your clipboards, you'll see that you have directions. Today what we're going to do, the first thing is we're going to analyze quotes. You're going to see that everybody has a role. So within your group, I need for you to figure out who's going to do what role. All right, if you are the reader, you are in charge of reading the directions and the reading material for today's activity. All right, if you are the writer, you will also be the speaker for the group. That way you can read your own handwriting and you know what's going on. So make sure that you go ahead and decide who's going to actually do the speaking as well as writing. And then the third one is going to be our demonstrator. And the demonstrator, when it comes to demonstrating for the activity of drawing a bow, you're going to do that, and you're also going to be responsible for collecting and picking up any more of the materials that you might need. If you need extra pencils, if you need reading materials, anything that you need to go up and get off of the table, everything is set, and that's going to be the person who is the demonstrator. So take a few seconds to figure out who's going to do what role in your group. All right, let's go. Okay, got all their roles and everything. Let's go ahead and look at our first part. I'm going to go ahead and give you a quote, okay? The quote basically states that an arrow can be shot by pulling it backwards. Without interpreting this quote, what is it telling you directly? Somebody raise their hands. What is this quote telling you directly? Yes?
Maybe it's saying that to go
without interpretation.
Okay.
All right, what is this telling you? What kind of direction is telling you?
That if you pull the arrow back, arrow back.
Okay. All right, in order for the arrow to go forward, correct. All right, we have to pull it back. All right, so if we were to look at this and we want to interpret it into something that we talk about with life lessons, okay, how can now, as a group, go ahead and discuss what can we interpret this saying to be? Talk to your group people.
When you're breaking up with your boyfriend, you're having a rough day and you keep moving forward and get over it.
Okay, so I think the quote means, like, for example, at school with bullying. Bullying can sometimes pull you back, but sometimes you have to ignore that because you don't want to get bad grades because someone's talking about you and you have to focus on school. So when it says an arrow can be shot by pulling it backwards, for example, bullying might pull you backwards in life, but you have to keep going forward.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this together as a class. All right, so group 6, where you at? Group 6. Okay, who's the speaker? All right, Taylor, so tell me what you were talking about. I'm sorry, I keep calling you Taylor because I taught your sister. All right, so Abby, tell me what it is that y'all interpreted as a group from this.
No matter what in life pulls you back, you can always go forward.
All right, so no matter what happens in life, when it pulls you back, you can always go forward. Does anybody else have anything else they would like to add to that? Group 4, what y'all got?
You can not go forward until you go back first. Like you have to go through hard times in life before you can have success.
All right, very good. All right, so basically when we're looking at this interpretation, so in life is dragging you back with difficulties, it means that it can launch into something greatness. So you're going to have some setbacks in life. You're going to have some difficulties in life. All right, so you have to look at it as a learning step. All right, and being able to move on and realize that in order to be successful, you're going to have some failures. Okay? Not everybody is successful just right away. So those are the things that can happen. So always remember that when you're taking a test. All right? You might have failed the test. That's okay. You didn't fail the class. So next time you take another test, you study harder and you do what you have to do to get better and help you out. All right? So with that, we're going to move on to our next activity. All right? So that we're going to work real hard. And that's going to be our anticipation guide. All right, so if you took on the role of being the demonstrator and being the person that actually goes and picks up everything, go ahead and everything's in order on the material desk, and let's go ahead and grab your sheets for the anticipation guide. All right, let's go very quickly for your group. All right, everything's in section 3. Grab a section if you need an extra pencil, bring a pencil so everybody else in the group can read it. Not that one, just these three. Just three, that's 3 of them. What I want you to do is to read the statement about archery, something that maybe you thought you knew, and answer whether or not if the statement would be considered a true statement or if the statement is considered a false statement. When everybody is done reading in your group, reading the statements in the group and answering the question, I need the person as the material getter to go and actually get the reading portion so the reader can read that information to you. All the people doing
sport, competitive archers actually require a significant amount of strength, endurance, and focus to perform well. If you aren't familiar with the demands of the sport, then you may be surprised to learn that there are several health benefits to participating in archery.
The specific amount of development depends on both the draw strength of the bow and the amount of time that you spend practicing and competing.
balance. Balance is vital to success in archery, as you have to be able to hold your body still while aiming and making a shot. Practicing archery helps you to gain control over your balance as you focus on trying to hit the center of the targets you shoot at. The more you practice, the more your core muscles will become accustomed to.
For your eyes, the more you practice, the better your coordination will become. This increase in coordination will result in better aiming of your bow and will help you in other sports and activities that use the hands as well. During the competition, archers can walk as much as 5 miles while performing common tasks at the archery range and moving from one position to another. Though much of this walking is in short intervals, the cumulative effect of walking throughout a competition can improve.
That uses the hand as well. Walking. During a competition, archers can walk as much as 5 miles while performing common tasks in the archery range and moving from one position to another. Though much of the walking is in short intervals, and the cumulative effect of walking through the competition can improve your cardiovascular health, muscle tone, and leg strength. You will gain some of these benefits during practice as you spend a significant amount of time walking to retrieve the fired arrows.
Let's go over these questions after you have done the reading and you went back and you answered the questions again. How many of you have changed your answers, at least 1 or 2 answers from what you thought was the correct answer to something else after the readings? Show of hands. All right, very good. Okay, why don't you go ahead and give me one of the ones that you changed?
Archery is considered a stationary sport with little walking.
All right, so archery is considered a stationary sport with little walking. Okay, some of you probably put that as a true statement because when you go out, you stand there and you actually shoot. Okay, but what did we learn in the reading about archery? Yes?
You actually walk a lot.
Okay, you walk a lot. LaQuasia, you want to add to that, babe?
That you actually walk up to 5 miles or more to go and receive your arrows.
All right, correct. Whenever a lot of these archers are in these competitions, they can actually walk up to 5 miles or even more. In some of these competitions, they're not just standing there and shooting at targets and that's the end of it. They actually have to go through trails and different things and journeys where they have to go through the woods and different areas. They'll shoot their target and then they move on to the next one. All right? Even whenever we're shooting every day, we don't just sit there and the arrows miraculously come to us. We have to be able to go and get our arrows and retrieve our arrows. So there is very little walking. However, you can get cardio endurance if you should happen to enter a lot of these types of tournaments. All right, very good. So that was one of the ways in which we actually had a change from a true statement to a false statement. Okay, you had that as a true statement and you changed it to false after. Why did you change that to a false statement?
Because core muscles are used for like balance, not necessarily drawing.
All right, that's correct. Your abs, remember we talked about last unit, the abs are actually used for balance, to get yourself stronger. When we go to actually draw a bow, we're not drawing a bow for using our cores whenever we are pulling backwards. But we do use other important muscles, all right? Muscles that we learned when we were in weights and conditioning, which is going to lead us to our next part, and that is going to be to actually draw a bow. And while one person is drawing a bow, I want the other two to analyze the muscles that they are using. There are several main muscles that are used in order to draw a bow. I want you to identify 4 of those main areas. All right, so if you're the demonstrator, okay, I need you to go ahead and get your bow, come stand in front of your group, and I want you to demonstrate the proper form of drawing a bow. All right, let's go. Those of you that are demonstrating, I want you to feel what muscles are being pulled as you are drawing back that bow. Draw it back and forward.
My back and my chest. Not you.
Drawing back and forward. Don't pop the string. Are you okay, Ziggy? We want to draw it out. We want to just pull back and hold on.
Up here. And my shoulders.
That's right. One more.
How many minutes?
4. Yeah, my bad. That's it.
We have chest, upper arms, or back.
I think we have to like arms, like biceps.
Go ahead and pull back and let them know. Okay. Now, which muscles do you feel when you're pulling back? Shoulders and your back. Okay. Anything else? Okay.
So biceps.
Okay. Go ahead and write that down. And you can let them know as you're pulling back and help them out. Shoulders, okay. What do we call that? Remember what we call them? All right, that's right. All right, got your triceps, you said? Anything else? A back, part of the back. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the main muscles that we use for bowling, drawing back a bow. All right, we said that there are 4 main areas. What are they? What? Chest, back, shoulder, and one more. And arms. So we got our shoulders, our chest, our back, and our arms. So let's look at each of these. Okay. First of all, we have our deltoid. Where's our deltoid located? What's another name? We learned about that. Go ahead. That's your shoulders, correct. When you're drawing back a bow, you use both your posterior and your anterior shoulders. Alright? So the anterior part is what you're going to use to hold the bow. The posterior part is what you're going to use to actually draw back the bow. Alright, another part that we're going to use, you said, your chest. Okay? So your pectorals are used for holding. And when we talk about holding, another thing for holding is called anchoring. Alright, so anchoring the bow. Alright, several different muscles of the back. Latissimus dorsi. Alright, anybody remembers where that's at? Where that's located? There you go, lower part of your back, correct. Alright, you have your trapezius. Alright, where is that at? Anybody know? Alright, trapezius, if you remember. Alright, the upper portion of the back, correct. Alright, we also have, we didn't study these two, but we have a teres major and minor. That's actually 2 muscles that's located right beneath the arm, right here in that area. We also have our rhomboids, which are actually located closer toward the mid portion of the spinal area. In our arms, we have our biceps, and where that's located. Alright, your upper portion of your body, and what's the other one? What's the opposite muscle? Triceps. Alright, so our triceps is our other one. So those are all the major muscles that are used as far as drawing a bow. Alright, and then what we're looking at as far as this, these are the different colors or the different sections of all the different muscles that's used. Alright, now before we leave for class, I'm going to talk about the 5 W's of life. How many times when we were talking about the 5 W's of life, or 5 W's in an English class, what is the teacher talking about when you have to write a paper? What, when, where, why. Right, how's an H. But, alright, yes, you're right. Alright, so who, what, when, where, and why. And you can apply that to life. Alright, so the 5 things about the 5 W's of life. Who you are is what makes you special, so don't change for anybody. Alright, what lies ahead is going to be a mystery. Alright, so don't be afraid to explore. You don't want to sit on the sideline and let life pass you by. Go out, explore. Don't be afraid to take chances. When life pushes you over, you push back. And I don't mean fight, but like that arrow. Whenever you have some setbacks in life, alright, be able to fight back harder to become successful in whatever it is that you do. Where there are choices to make the ones that you're not going to regret. Okay? And of course, the last one, why things happen, will never be certain, but take it in stride and move forward. Alright, very good job. I want you to go ahead and collect all your materials and put everything back on the table. Alright, and then go have a seat real quick over there. Y'all can get dressed. Alright, girls, for today we talked about a lot of different things. Alright, we talked about muscles and how muscles are actually used and how we can actually use that and how it's very similar to weightlifting. Alright, we interpreted quotes and things like that. Alright, so we did a very good job off of that. Tomorrow, okay, we will be going outside. We will be shooting in our partners, with our partners and in our groups. Okay, we will be assessing one another by using the charts and things like that. So we're going to be definitely doing all of that again tomorrow. All right, good job for today. All right, have a good day. Now get dressed.